against the rulers of the darkness of this world. It's a spiritual combat. It's a spiritual combat. It's a spiritual combat. It's a spiritual combat. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world. It's a spiritual combat. It's a spiritual combat. It's a spiritual combat. It's a spiritual combat.
Shalom, y'all. Shalom, shalom. It's Michael Israel here. You are watching Spiritual Combat. And as you can see, like I said yesterday, the title of today's show is the beginning of a series, and it's titled Seeing the Massive Mental Deception, and it's part 1. As you could, yesterday I was having internet problems, which I've been having them for a while. Come to find out, it's the modem. That's what it is. So I found out I could buy a new one, and it will rectify all those internet speed issues. So all praise to the Most High for revealing that. But yeah, so I'll get that taken care of probably sooner than later. But I'm happy about that. But like I said, the title of today's show is Seeing the Massive Mental Deception. And what I'm going to be going through is I'm going to point out areas where we are being deceived, because Satan is a deceiver. And I deal with this a lot. I've dealt with it in my walk of being deceived. And in order to, one of the main things you have to do in order to see where this deception is at and where we are being deceived is you have to humble yourself. You have to be willing to look at yourself. Hey, Shalom, Zakar, Judah, good to see you in there. Good to see you in there. But yeah, you have to humble yourself and really be willing to level with yourself. Shalom, Sister Hicks. Good to see you in there. Shalom, sis. So yeah, you got to be honest with yourself. See where you're off at, and just be transparent with yourself and with what's going on. Like Christ said, first clean the inside of the glass, then the out. I mean, I can't say that scripture over and over enough. Because the Bible tells you he's a deceiver, falling for the wiles of the devil. You know what I'm saying? The tricks. He's a trickster. And he's not just any trickster, okay? You're a little baby compared to Satan's skill in deception. He's been around how long? How much older is he than you? Okay? So we got to understand that. And that we're not fighting and banging against people. You know what I'm saying? We're not fighting against people. We're fighting against people who are demonically manipulated. That's why things are so difficult, because I don't get mad at people. I just get mad in the spirits that they allow to deceive them. I'm not mad at the people. But we have this book. It's the roadmap for this spiritual warfare we're in. That's why my show is called Spiritual Combat, because that's what we're fighting against. And it's not a brute force fight. It's a spiritual combat, just like the song says it. We wrestle not against flesh and blood. But so we gotta understand that there's people who are willfully demonically manipulated. they're complicit in it on different levels. Some just buy into the deception. Some openly pursue it, and those are people in these like who join these secret societies and openly seek to, you know, gain wealth through spiritual means. But we're not going into all that. What we're going to be getting into in this lesson, in this series, is because Satan, he doesn't just work outside so-called religion, or he doesn't just, oh, I'm a Bible believer. Oh, so he doesn't bother to try to deceive you or anything like that. That's not how it works. He's right in there with the Bible believer, banging on them, deceiving them, mixing them up. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna hit on all that. Okay? We're gonna show you where some of the most insidious, some of the most covert, crafty manipulation is going on at. We're gonna point that out, because if I point that out, then you're gonna see everything else that follows. So we're gonna go into this. Like I said, it's there's gonna be an ongoing series pointing all this out, because like I said, like y'all saw on the show I did on the Shabbat, I think it was the Shabbat show. The sister wrote in and she explained her frustration with the lack of spiritual teaching in the Hebrew Israelite community. That was her frustration, where she had came out of the Christian church and she could see the mental deception there. And then she came into the Hebrew Israelite community and she saw a different type of kind of spiritual deception or whatever, where nobody was going in on these specific topics. How exactly do we get our minds right? Why are we walking around feeling unfulfilled? You know, nobody was going in on that. She saw a real void in anybody really going in deep on that. And that's the core of the deception. Today, see, people think, oh, you know, it was different back then with the Bible. Look, if that whole situation with Jesus and the Pharisees and Judas and all these people, if that was today, most of these people would be following after the Pharisees with all that knowledge and manipulation that they was operating under. They'd be following Judas. And they wouldn't be rocking with Christ, you know, just truth be told, because the way Christ gets portrayed among a lot of religious teachers or so-called Bible teachers, the way they portray Christ is, you know, somebody who was walking around, oh, I love you, brother, hugs. Like they portray him like Joel Osteen. Like Joel Osteen is the model of, I want to say, of so-called modern day Bible believing doctrine, if that's a good way of saying it. Because it's not just Christianity. You just get a lot of Bible teachers who subliminally portray a Joel Osteen type religion. Oh, where you can't say nothing. You know, hurt feelings are a sin, brother. And anger is wicked. You know, when anger is biblical. I mean, it's all through the book. Like oh, don't yell, brother. It's a sin to yell. Oh my God, you yell, you know. Displaying any masculine, aggressive attitude or personality is like, no. You can be nice. Just love everybody, you know. And that is one of the big areas of the deception is a twisting of the roles, a feminizing of the men, a dispowering of the men. If you get the father out of the home and then you pump in this Joel Osteen Christianity or because it's not just Christianity though, but just Joel Osteen understanding of the Bible. It's like the Joel Osteen doctrine or whatever. But this Joel Osteen interpretation or projection of the word where, oh, you got to be soft, happy, and bubbly all the time and all that stuff like that. When you flip it like that, what the subliminal or the underlying communication that's being communicated and programmed in to men is that, oh, I can't be masculine. And all that is this society's way creeping into the so-called biblical understanding. And it's widespread. I say it all the time. This society it's a feminized society. You swim in a, and not even, feminized is the wrong word. You swim in an ocean of emasculation where they are spiritually castrating you as a man, okay, and it's subliminal. It's below the surface. You gotta, again, the veil, the deception has to be peeled from over your eyes. The scales have to be removed for your eyes, so you can interpret the Bible from a biblical perspective and not through this society's filter. Okay, that seeks to emasculate you. Yeah, so sister, and shalom, sister Badadai. Yeah, and shalom, Israelite Gifts. I see you on there. So, yeah, so part of what I'm going to show you as in the coming lessons, because this is like an intro lesson here. But in this series on seeing the massive mental deception, one of the big areas is men and seeing where you are being emasculated at, spotting the emasculation. Because a lot of times when you can spot the emasculation, then that is where the phoniness lies at, you know. And once the scales are peeled off, you literally see a good way of identifying, and I say one way to identify, and then you could further look into it. But a good sign that something is a part of Satan's deception is that it's going to seek to emasculate you as a man. It's going to seek, it's going to try to feminize you and put an Ahab spirit in you as a man. It's going to take the King David spirit, the warrior spirit, the strong man spirit is going to seek to bind you as a strong man. So that's a good way to spot something that is a deception, okay? And that's what it's imperative to put out here, because something I realize is, hey, I see it, but I realize in my teachings, I haven't put this out there to other brothers and sisters. I haven't explained to them why certain things, I'm like, oh, back off from that quick, you know? So, and it's again, we swim in an ocean of this deception. It's everywhere. The brother I was counseling, not yesterday, the day before yesterday, was like, yeah, you know, I finished explaining why his situation was the way it is, and it clicked to him, and, you know, and I'm on there talking, and he wasn't interrupting, and I was like, well, I hope he's receiving this, you know, and then when I got done talking, it was still silent, and I was like, hello, you there? And he's like, yeah, and it was like, he was having one of those Matrix moments where he was like, man, he was like, you spot on, man. He was like, I used to be like that. And then, like, I came in this truth, you know, and then I fell off. And then that's when the problem started. And I was like, Yeah, I was like, and that's when I said to him, I was like, what you got to understand is you swim in an ocean of emasculation. From the very beginning, Satan, what did he seek to do? His whole thing was to reverse the roles. Okay, one of his first moves was a role reversal, and you kind of see it all through the book. I call it the Ahab spirit, and he tries to put the Jezebel spirit on the women. You see it in media. Now I don't even watch the media anymore, but the reports I get from the front lines of people who do watch the media, or when I say the media, television, and the programming out there and all these movies and shows that are out, they say it's very emasculating now. Where the men are portrayed as silly, women are portrayed as wise. People are saying everybody's gay. Like gayness is all over TV now, and it's like the new black or something. I don't know. And I need to, like I said, I'm getting ready to go up to. I watch TV a little bit when I go on a trip and I'm sitting in a hotel. I watch some shows, so I'll check it out. But it don't sit well with my spirit. It gets me frustrated, and I turn it off because to me, it like hits me so hard. Just the commercials. It's like the commercials are so rapid and coming so fast. So it's just, but all that to say, it's out there. They're feminizing our men. Like I said in yesterday's lesson, it blew me away. That article where it was saying Atlanta is, the HIV rate is worse than like third world countries. I think they said Zimbabwe, which, that doesn't surprise me because it's, and that's a whole nother lesson, but that's by design to get us full of lust, to handcuff us, and give you no options. And then the option they give you is one of death, and that's going to be another part of this series. So some of the areas, all right, hold on. Yeah, some of the areas we're going to hit on with this ongoing series is the massive mental deception when it comes to of course, in religion. I'm going to hit on hard where it comes in with relationship, when it comes to people, whether it be friends or family. But it's a lot of it comes from family, and just seeing it, and there's a pattern to it, and you'll begin to see it, and the only way to respond to it is just directly go spot on. The way the Bible tells you to deal with stuff is literally like a math equation, and the result is just like equals, bam. So 1 plus, if you're getting 1. If you're getting 1 and you're getting plus 2, do 3. Boom, you're going to get 3. So it tells you if you got this and you got that, add it together, it's going to equal this. So literally, when you apply these simple biblical truths, or if you want to break down these simple biblical formulas, you're going to get a set result. And it's not something that's going to drag out over time. They're very time efficient and effective. A lot of times it involves you directly confronting somebody or just leaving somebody alone. So same thing with spotting these situations, because that verse, and I'm quoting it out of context, but it says, and actually I'm really not. As a matter of fact, I'm not going to quote it out of context. I'm going to bring it up for you. All right. So I'm going to show you the deception in those areas. And what I'm going to show you is what you're also going to learn in this series is why you're getting deceived, and because across the board, the Bible is being taught strategically whether people are consciously aware of what they're doing or not, they're teaching the Bible in a way that avoids its true power. Okay, so check out this verse here. We got Hebrews 14:12. Read the whole chapter. Get the context. Make sure hold Mikey to keep me right. But I'm just reading this for time's sake. It says, "For the word of God is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit and of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart." So it will show you exactly what's going on inside you if you humble down, which the Bible tells you, and you look at yourself according to the standard that the Bible holds. I told you some books that are good mirrors to do that. Sirach and the Apocrypha, otherwise known as the Book of Ecclesiasticus, or known as the Book of Sirach. They use both names. And Proverbs. I just say that's a good place to start from my walk. It might, that's just my recommendation. But also, it will be a discerner to other, because once you do the work on yourself, you increase your spiritual discernment, and then you can discern other things. And you won't go out here and get deceived and misled by people. You'll see them coming a mile away because you walking with a powerful two-edged sword that just cuts right through all the bull crap that's out there. And that's why I'm doing this lesson, to put it out there, because folks think Satan done retired and they got the truth now. He deceiving people in the truth. And if you don't believe me, Judas, he knew all this. He knew this better than any of y'all out there. Although y'all would convince me that he didn't. But Judas knew this book. He was walking with Christ. He had this book down way better than any of y'all. Okay? Although, like I said, I'm going to get Hebrews on here who say, oh no, he didn't. I knew it better than him because I'm more filled with the Spirit. Okay. But if you do this work on yourself the way the Most High Yah's word says to, it'll cut through all this, man, and you won't be deceived. Shalom, shalom, brother Malak. Good to see you in there, man. It's good chopping it up with you. I'm gonna try to hit you up today. Shalom, Shabaya. Good to see you in there. Marcus, good to see you in there. Of course, Sister Hicks. Badaya, good to see you in there. My man Yehukana Yasha'Allah, good to see you on there. Of course, Otha McGee, good to see you in there. Good to see all y'all tuning in. Sister Hicks said, I have a problem with women sports reporters in the NFL. It really bothers me. They are interviewing players on the panel with Michael Strahan. It's crazy, man. And this, let me tell you something about these sports. I mean, for me, I don't even have time to follow sports. It's so pointless to me. It's like I'm trying to live through these other men and all that. Through these, these dudes is warriors. They're just deceived into being entertainers. But them dudes out there, don't get it twisted, man, because I've met them firsthand. I played basketball with them and stuff. These dudes, if we were back in our Hebrew times, those dudes would be mighty men of valor. These dudes would be warriors, like bred and raised to, you put a sword in their hand instead of a football and train them up to be warriors instead of training them up to play a kid's game for entertainment. Oh, these dudes would be a scary thing. I've seen them firsthand. The dudes is no joke. So don't get it twisted. I'm not down in these men. I'm just, the construct of sports is just an outlet to quail an uprising of a nation. All right. But anyway, let me say this. Y'all men and women who are still hardcore into these sports, pretty soon you're going to be forced to give them up because it's going to get so gay. Just mark my words. You know what I'm saying? And don't get mad at me. I'm just telling you the way it's gonna go. It is what it is. You see your boy Dwight Howard. You see what's going down with that. Just a matter of time, man. That's their only unconquered territory there, and they're beginning. They're smashing on it hard. Okay, they got men cheerleaders. Like you, so you. All right, I'm done talking that. I'm done touching that one. But anyway, man, and like I said, I realize with this walk, one of the main thing we got to come up against is this Ahab spirit that it's always trying to creep in. It ain't creeping in over here. Spiritual combat ain't bending to an Ahab spirit and Jezebel. You know what I'm saying? And Sister Coy will come on here and she will tell you straight up that, she don't have that Jezebel spirit. She has a Proverbs 31 woman spirit all out. She ain't and she's gonna come on the show. But the woman's so busy naturally walking in that Proverbs 31 woman status that she ain't got time to come on. And she ain't got a spirit where she want to be on the camera all the time, be up in front of the camera doing all this stuff. Like, that's not high priority to her. Higher priority is her what? Enabling her husband, because she knows if she enables me, she gonna in turn get the blessing. So what does she do? She does a lot of my administrative work here and makes me more efficient when it comes to spiritual combat and when it also comes to my other business that I have. And she's greatly freed me up in turn to where I can be more efficient and provide for my family in a more efficient manner. And that's book. That's book. That's pure Bible. You see a lot of these big mouth women that want to be in the forefront all the time, talking about they bishops and this, that, and all this other crazy stuff, usurping authority, taking positions of leadership, and that's when you look at their actions. That's what they're doing. That's off. That's part of that. That's part of the emasculation. That's part of that deception. That's part of that role reversal. And folks don't realize they deceive. They getting deceived through their pride. Okay? So it's basic, man. It's basic book. But when you got pride, it's easy to lead you along and get you deceived. And what you find is a lot of those women who are usurping those, they're walking in those positions of authority and they're titling it like it's not. Oh, I'm a prophetess. And some of them bold with it. Some of them saying they a bishop and they apostles and all this stuff. But you're operating in a position of authority. And then you look at their marriage and it's a hot mess. A lot of them ain't married. The ones who are, the husband got, the husband's wearing makeup and he got that Joel Osteen spirit on. Just saying facts. Just saying facts. We're going to chop that up. I'm going to do a whole part on that, And folks gonna be backing off from spiritual combat then, but I'm gonna keep it 100. I'm not gonna ignore elephants in the room, and I'm gonna go in the closet, open up the closet, get the elephants up out the closet. And Facebook and social media is a simple thing. It's not like I'm up in your house. If you can't receive the truth, I'm a couple button clicks away to where it's like I never existed. But I've realized how people are getting destroyed and hurt out here for lack of knowledge. And it hurts me, man. Yeah, I see things that I don't put out there, but I deal with stuff and I see things and I've seen stuff in my life and experienced stuff in my life. I've experienced a lot of suicide because folks had lack of knowledge. I've seen it firsthand. So anyway, definitely this is going to be an awesome series. And a matter of fact, one of the parts of this series is going to be taught on Milk in the Morning with Mosh and Judah Mack on their show. They invited me to teach. It might be next week. But one of these parts is going to be taught on there to edify them and to link y'all up with those believers and everything. So definitely tune in. It's gonna be awesome. I appreciate y'all tuning in today. I'm almost late, so I gotta get out of here quick because I gotta go to work. Appreciate y'all tuning in. I'm Michael Israel. You're watching Spiritual Combat. Shalom to all y'all. Appreciate y'all tuning in.